Hey guys, Quiz the Lazy Geek here, and today we're going to talk about some latest news, some breaking news that we have on two things. That's two. One of them is N.I.N.A. So on my computer right now, I have the N.I.N.A screen, the N.I.N.A website visible. And if I go into download, and we look at what's available, we can see that the default version is no longer 1.9, it is 1.10. Because yes, N.I.N.A 1.10 has finally been released officially. It is no longer a beta/alpha version. It is a completely new version of N.I.N.A that is available. Of course, since most of you guys have probably been using the nightlies, the 1.10 nightlies, there's nothing new for you guys, but it still means that for people who were like afraid to go to the latest and greatest and bleediest and buggiest version of N.I.N.A, and therefore wanted to keep using 1.9 rather than 1.10, now they can go to 1.10 and they can benefit of all of the enhancements that are in 1.10. And if we look at the news in here, we can see, yes, that the long-awaited N.I.N.A official version 1.10 is here. And look at all of those beautiful changes. They're all over the place, which is awesome. And there's tons of good stuff. There's the flat panel control stuff. There's like better support for integrated filter wheels from QHY. There's more hardware support for like Powerbox, for Lacerda, for the newest drivers for ZWO, blah, 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 blah. We have tons of new languages of the interface, and there's tons and tons of stuff. And so there's general stuff. There's the autofocus system. So most of that is what I have been working on. So it was early in the 1.10 release cycle that this got in. A lot of the bugs and issues that I put in there were actually fixed by other developers in the further nightlies. Some cool enhancements were done, like we can see on the general imaging graph throughout the night when autofocus took place. Autofocus is now records log files that you can open separately. You can actually now drag and drop them into the Discord chats. Although I also have a video where you can open them inside a spreadsheet, and I'm linking to it up there if you're interested. The other huge change that came up besides all of the autofocus enhancements, like curve fitting, weighted curve fitting, actually, to be even more precise, is an overshoot backlash compensation method, which mimics what other software have been doing, like SGP, and which relies on the fact that mechanical backlash of the focuser when you go in one direction or the other, it's the same. And so that means you no longer need to precisely know your backlash. You can just guesstimate it and put in any higher number than you want in there. So that's another thing that's in this version. Tons of great enhancements. If we look at the backlash, I do have a video on that as well, separately, if you guys are interested. So I'm linking to it now. Tons of stuff to be linking to. There's been tons of enhancements to the feature. Another one of those enhancements is related to autofocus that I worked on, instead of waiting a certain amount of time or for a certain temperature change, N.I.N.A actively monitors the HFR of your images, so how well in focus your images are, and if it sees that the images are starting to come out of focus, it will run the autofocus immediately. That kind of stuff. All sorts of enhancements have been done all over the place, and it is awesome. So much stuff has been done, like guiding enhancements, plate solving enhancements, framing wizard enhancements, hardware related enhancements, interface related enhancements, integration related enhancements. What you can put in the file name enhancements stuff has been added. So much stuff has been done, and I don't even want to go into all the details. You can see how much this version includes, and this is amazing. I love N.I.N.A, and I love how it is progressing. I do not get any money out of N.I.N.A. I'm just like a contributor from time to time. But the main developer, you can donate to the main developer. And if you search in the announcement section of the Discord channel of N.I.N.A, you'll see he has a Patreon as well. If you wish to support him on a monthly basis, feel free to do so. So this is awesome. Finally, N.I.N.A 1.10 has been released. And I do believe that some of the N.I.N.A contributors will be preparing a video of the enhancements, all of the main enhancements that came into N.I.N.A 1.10, so which will be very instructive to everyone. If I get permission, I'll be featuring that video or hosting that video on my channel, so I'll let you know if that happens. Otherwise, what do we have? We have something else. We have an update to the Astromechanics adapter ASCII driver. So if you don't know what the Astromechanics adapter is, it's actually on this setup there. It's a little adapter for EOS lenses. You can slide in your EOS lens in there, so Canon lenses or Canon compatible lenses, and then you can control via an ASCII driver the actual focus motor that is within the lens, if your lens is not a manual lens, and also the aperture ring that is within the lens. So you can control the aperture and the focus directly from your computer, even if you're not using a Canon DSLR body, even if you're using, like I am here, a dedicated Astro camera. And it's a game changer. It is amazing. It makes using lenses so much easier, and it will be able to adapt throughout the night to focus changes if you're using a solution like N.I.N.A. So it is amazing, and I have a review of that adapter if you want to see more about it, and I'm linking to it up below, above, that's not below, above, and that video you'll see towards the end that one of my gripes has been the software support for the ASCII driver has some issues. And those issues, I've heard a rumor, and it's likely going to be publicly available in a couple of weeks, but you know, don't take my word for it, so let's wait to see if it really happens. But what I've heard is that Astromechanics are working on a new driver that will include 3 main enhancements. One of the enhancements is that instead of installing one DLL, so one version of the driver, it will install 2, so that you'll be able to connect to 2 Astromechanics adapters from the same computer. If you've watched my review of the Astromechanics adapter before, you will have seen that I had a dual lens setup, and I had 2 Astromechanics adapters that I wanted to control from the same PC. From their official driver, that was not possible. I can only control one at a time. So I actually created my own ASCII driver so that I can control the second lens from my ASCII driver while the official driver took care of the first lens. So kind of like, you know, crazy stuff to do. So they've listened, and they're coming up with a way to control 2 of those adapters at once from the same PC, which is what other manufacturers like, you can control 2 filter wheels from ZW from the same PC. They use the same method. So that's a great enhancement. Another enhancement that is apparently coming in that rumored new version of the driver is something that I also complained about, which was that it was not ASCII compliant. If you run the driver through the ASCII compliance checker, you would see that it was not implementing some of the functions that are mandatory to implement in an ASCII focuser driver. In particular, temperature compensation and temperature availability were not giving back feedback. The focuser does not do any temperature related stuff. It does not have a temperature sensor, but it should actually be able to provide the information to the computer that no, I don't have temperature, and no, I cannot do anything related to temperature. And that was not done. And I actually received a beta driver from Astromechanics maybe like 8 months ago, maybe a year ago, but they never actually published it on their website. And that could cause issues with older versions of N.I.N.A that were actually checking whether the driver was providing that information. So that's a great enhancement as well. It makes the driver actually ASCII compliant. And the third one was, let me think. Yes, I remembered. I remember it is the control of the aperture ring. So basically, with some lenses, especially a specific Sigma lens, Sigma 85 millimeters, if I remember correctly, the Astromechanics adapter would send an aperture kind of control initialization command that didn't work, and that made that lens not work at all with the adapter, which was a waste. And the reason for that is that the lens expects a weird kind of communication language for the aperture control. And what they are apparently doing is that they're giving the ability to the users to not have aperture control at all. And by doing that, it will remove all sorts of aperture related commands or initialization to the lens, making that lens work. And my own driver of the for Astromechanics didn't do any aperture control, so my own driver was currently a workaround for that particular lens, which was successful. I double checked it with an owner of that lens, but now you will no longer need my hacky driver that I've made available in my previous video, because the official driver will do that properly. And it will do that by currently in the driver you have a text file where you can put in the available apertures, like the first aperture is 2.8, the second is 3.2, the third is 4, the fifth is 5.6, whatever, you know, that kind of thing. Instead of putting aperture numbers, you can just put -1, and that means that the lens will not be communicated to at all with regards to aperture by the Astromechanics adapters. And that solves, again, a lot of compatibility issues, especially for that specific lens. But from experience, it also solves the 135 millimeters f1.8 Sigma lens not working from time to time with the Astromechanics adapter. So great update. Again, it's still at the rumor level. I might have heard that someone is testing it, and not me, and that it might be coming once the tests are successful in a couple of weeks. So this is great news. And so that's it for the breaking news and rumors of the day. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn more about these news, or I'll do all sorts of other contents, from gear reviews to technical tips about how a camera sensor works, what are the gain and offset values that works the best, what exposure time you should be getting, what does HFR or FWHM even mean, what do they do, how do they relate to autofocus or image quality, processing tutorials, imaging nights reviews, all that kind of stuff are on my channel. So if you like this type of content, please feel free to go down, if you have not subscribed yet, and click on the subscribe button, click on the notification bell, and if you like this video, please click on the like button. If you disliked it, click on the dislike button, and feel free to leave in any comments you may have below. If you have any further information about N.I.N.A 1.10 or the Astromechanics driver, or any other breaking news that you're aware of, please feel free to let me know. So again, thank you so much for watching. It's always so much fun to make those videos and to see all of your reactions to them. So thank you so much. And as always, whenever you can, don't forget to look up at the stars, and I'll see you next time.